They all know about my idea to make a quilt as a going-away gift for Molly. Some of them even created pieces for me to add, embroidered with messages of good luck and congratulations. You can always tell what's going on in a woman's life based on the quilt she's working on. The new baby quilts are always light and soft, the wedding quilts pure and clean, filled with tradition, as though a beautiful design might be an inoculation against future strife. Housewarming quilts tend to be artistic, suitable for hanging on an undecorated wall. The most lovingly created quilts of all are the memory quilts, often created as a group project to commemorate a significant event, help with healing, or to celebrate a life. I've always thought a quilt held together with a woman's tears to be the strongest of all. Non-quilters have a hard time getting their heads around the time and trouble of a project like this. My friend Charisse, who has 3 kids, said, "Linda, honey, I'm just glad to get them out of the house, up and running, with no criminal record." Another friend confessed, "My daughter would only ruin it. She's so careless with her things." My neighbor Erin, who started law school when her son entered 1st grade, now works long hours and makes a ton of money. "I wish I had the time," she said wistfully when I showed her my project. What I found is that you make time for the things that matter to you. Everyone has the time. It's just a question of deciding what to do with that time. For some people, it's providing for their family. For others, it's finding that precarious balance between taking care of business and the soul work of being there for husband, children, friends, and neighbors. I'm supposed to be making the last-minute preparations before our departure on the epic road trip, but instead, I find myself dithering over the quilt, contemplating sashing and borders, and whether my color palette is strong and balanced. Although the top is pieced, the backing and batting in place, there is still much work to be done, embellishments to add. It might not be proper quilting technique, but quilting is an art, not a science. My crafter's bag is filled with snippets of fabric culled from old familiar clothes, fabric toys, and textiles that have been outgrown, but were too dear or too damaged to take to the Goodwill bin. I'm a big believer in charity bins. Just because a garment is no longer suitable doesn't mean it couldn't be right for someone else. On the other hand, some things are not meant to be parted with. I sift through the myriad moments of Molly's childhood, which I keep close to my heart, like flowers from a prized bouquet, carefully pressed between sheets of blotter paper. I fold the quilt and put it in the bag with all the bright bits and mementos, a tiny swatch of a baby doll's nightie, an official-looking Girl Scout badge, a precious button that is the only survivor of her first Christmas dress. So many memories lie mute within this long-handled bag, waiting for me to use them as the final embellishments on this work of art. I'll never finish in time. You can do this. I try to give myself a pep talk, but the words fall through my mind and trickle away. This is unexpected, this inability to focus. A panic I haven't been expecting rises up in me, grabbing invisibly at my chest. Breathe, I tell myself. Breathe. The house already feels different. A heaviness hangs in the drapes over the old chintz sofa. Sounds echo on the wooden floors, a suitcase being rolled to the front porch, a set of keys dropped on the hall table. An air of change hovers over everything. Dan has driven to the Chevron station to fill the Suburban's tank. He's not coming. This long drive without him will be a first for our family. Until now, every road trip has involved all 3 of us, Yellowstone, Bryce Canyon, Big Sur, speeding along endless highways with the music turned up loud. We did everything as a family. I can't even remember what Dan and I used to do before Molly. Those days seem like a life that happened to someone else. We were a couple, but Molly made us a family. This time, Dan will stay home with Hoover, who is getting on in years and doesn't do well at the kennel anymore. It's better this way. Dan was never fond of saying goodbye. Not that anybody enjoys it, but in our family, I'm always the stoic, the one who makes the emotional work look easy, on the outside, anyway. My solo drive back home will be another first for me. I hope I'll use the time well, getting to know myself again maybe. Scary thought. What if I get to know myself?